Link engaged.
Visit us at TeamSpeak.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Team Liquid TeamSpeak StarCraft 2 Open number 20. We're here on Tal'Darim Altar in the semifinals between our players Spades here in the top left as our Red Terran representing Team Rain versus his opponent Hack in the top right as our Cyan, I believe, Terran. I'm colorblind, so you'll have to.
Cyan.
Is it?
Like
teal, cyan. Well, okay.
I haven't heard that word since like kindergarten.
Really?
Cyan and burnt magenta and and I don't know, all the crayons in my big Crayola box.
Yeah, man, you gotta get the 300 color.
I was like, what is he trying to say? I thought you were saying Scion, like, you know.
It's like he's got this car over here, so the XB, like that's why he looks all square. No, but I can't remember if I said his name, so I should probably say that. His opponent is Hack in the top right, going to be representing Team ZeNEX. So we're gonna have a TVT on Tal'Darim Altar. Now, this map is not only huge, but there's like a million expansions everywhere. So, you know, it might be possible that we'll run into some ridiculous, like crazy split map long TVT here.
Well, we have a real major positional imbalance that we need to talk about, and that's true. Is the push from Hack's base to the base of Spades. Hack is going to build tanks, and when he pushes, he doesn't necessarily have to, but when he realizes the position that he's in, he's going to build tanks. And when he pushes, he's going to be able to push up right to the base of this natural, and it's going to give him a huge positional advantage, and it's one that's tough to overcome when you're the defender. I would say that it's not game-breaking, it's not something that Spades can't beat, but it's going to be problematic, so he has to be very careful of that.
Yeah, Hack actually went for this refinery first build, though, that I was talking about in the last game. So what that means is that he's going to have a factory started the second this barracks finishes, and it's going to be a lot earlier than Spades factories. So if he does rush up to that, Blue Flame Hellion build, or rush to tanks, or rush to Banshee, whatever he rushes to, it's actually going to be pretty far ahead of Spades' tech here. So I'm actually a little bit interested that that Hack, set up that supply depot to go for the wall off. Maybe we'll do a supply depot wall off later on, but then didn't put his barracks by supply depot. Now, I'm not a Terran player, so I never know the reason for that. I wish I could have a Terran player tell me, but why would you put a supply depot and then
it's an insurance policy,
off?
Man. I mean, he'll probably make a complete depot wall, would be my guess. And then if Blue Flame Hellions are coming across the map, he just bam lifts his wall, no problem. And then maybe he won't. Maybe he just likes putting a depot there. I mean, there's just too many possible reasons, to really theory craft on it. Personally, I like that Spades put his first depot at his mineral line because it saves him some mining time.
Yeah.
But anyway, like
Reaper
you said,
expand.
Fast Hack. Oh, Reaper expand indeed. That's very noteworthy. Reapers are really good on this map because of the way that the third base kind of connects to the main with that low ground. So Spades will be able to get a lot of good scouting with this.
I'm a little worried for him, though, because the build that Hack is doing right now, going up to this quick starport, I fully expect him to switch that starport on the tech lab, get one early Banshee, and then switch off the starport after that first Banshee. Now, I feel like Spades is not going to have much anti-air available to him, for that first Banshee. He did make that first Reaper. He is now starting Marine production, but he's going to be pretty far behind, so I feel like he might just, take like a ridiculous amount of damage from this first Banshee.
It's definitely possible, and I'm not really sure. Oh, look at this. Reaper getting a couple SCV kills here. Wow, that's actually really significant. Two SCVs going down, and I think he's going to get a third. No, he's going to just back out of there and stay safe. Like you said, Banshee is coming out here for Hack. Spades critically did not scout the tech of his opponent. He's far too concerned with SCVs, and I think he's making a blunder. But he does pick up a couple more SCV kills, and I would love to see him run down and scout that his opponent's going Banshee, but he still hasn't done that. So that Reaper did some good damage. He's definitely really pleased with himself right now. But he's going to have to defend a Reaper with Marines that don't have stim. Not a Reaper, a Banshee.
Hellions. Hellions and a Banshee. So, I mean, look at this. Hack is rallying all his stuff towards the natural. Now, there is a bunker coming up, but if he just runs up with those Hellions, he should be able to take out these 3 Marines, no problem. And that's going to make it even easier for this Banshee to, be that much more effective. Now, the first Banshee is already out and on the way. He actually did not switch out these buildings, but is not producing anything out of any of his 3 buildings right now. Just too focused on that Hellion micro, unfortunately. But he is doing some pretty good job microing right now. Did lose one of those Hellions. But Spades is going to be forced to fall back right now. The bunker is complete, though, so if he can get these Marines into the bunker, yes, he will. He should be relatively safe against this frontal push. That being said, here comes the Banshee into the natural. We'll be able to kill these SCVs, so Spades is in a bit of trouble.
This Banshee's going to have a field day, man. Spades just doesn't have an answer to it. He can shoot the Marines to death. I kind of think Spades is dead.
Yeah, that was... I can't help but feel like that was just also a huge mistake right there. He just dropped 2 mules right after he saw the Banshee coming to his mineral line. After it killed some SCVs, he's like, all right, let me go ahead and drop 2 mules.
Oh.
That'll help. So,
and here come
that
the Hellions.
Oh, yeah. And now
Blue
look
flame.
at that. All the Marines were pulled out of the bunker to defend against the Banshee. There's nothing left to defend against the Hellions and Marines. Yeah, I feel like this hack is just going to win the game right here. This build from his just pretty much counters the build that Spades went for.
Yeah. Basically a build order win. I feel like Spades would have been in better shape if he had just scouted with that Reaper. You build the Reaper to scout. It was awesome that he was able to do some good harass with it. But at the you know, the moral of the story is that's your scouting utensil. You have to utilize it. Spades does clean up that stuff in his natural with his SCVs, but he's taken way too much damage. 24 SCVs to 13. Hack's expansion is now finished. So the fact that Spades got the earlier expo is not even going to allow him to close that SCV gap. Now all we have to see Hack do is just ride this advantage he has to a mid-game victory.
Yeah, pretty much, and he's already running another Banshee in. So what does Spades have to deal with it? He might be able to start a Viking after the starport finishes, but I mean, that's about it. Only has 1 Marine on the way right now. All these SCVs being pulled for Spades, and I can't help but just fully agree with you about the Reaper. I think the strength of Reaper expanding is that you get perfect scouting. The Reaper, yes, you can get some SCV kills, but I think the main purpose is the scouting. So the fact that he didn't use it for that, you know, yeah, we can say this is a build order win, and that, you know, Hack just kind of his build counters Spades' build. But that being said, yeah, if he'd used that first Reaper to actually scout that the Banshee was on the way, he could have countered this, and he didn't necessarily have to lose this game. So Hack has just been denying like all mining. For some reason, he's leaving with the Banshee right now, but could just go in and be annoying still. I mean, there's really no reason that Space should be allowed to mine at all right now. But now the first Viking is out, so luckily he will be able to deny any future harassment from that Banshee with the Viking. But as you said, Hack has a huge advantage. It's 31 SCVs to 19 right now. All he really has to do is just continue to play safe, macro up, and he'll be able to hit him. He'll be able to hit Spades with a 2-base timing push. That I don't think Spades will be able to do anything about.
Yeah, I think it's kind of funny that Hack's just continuing to play harassy. He's going now for a Hellion drop, and he's going to walk it right past this Viking. So I mean, I would go so far as to say that you know, Hack's making the mistake. He needs to just build an army and go attack instead of, you know, he's done his damage. He's done the harassment damage, but at the same time, he's done so much damage that he's got the room to make 20 mistakes and still win this game.
Yeah, I do agree with you about the army thing. I think if you just transitioned into the very standard, you know, tank style, nice blue flame Hellions getting past, you'll be able to pick off a couple more SCVs as well as that Banshee just being annoying. Even with the Viking attacking, it did have 8 kills total at the end there after it killed a lot of SCV. But I think Hack, if he just transitioned into tanks right now, he could just set up that aggressive position that you were talking about at the beginning of the game, right next to the cliff of Spades' natural. And there's really nothing Spades would be able to do about it since he doesn't have the units. But it looks like he is just going to go mass blue flame Hellion here.
Hack likes his Hellions. What the heck, man?
3 factories producing nothing but blue flame Hellions right now. He's going to go ahead and add on that tech lab though to the second factory, so we probably should see a transition into tanks pretty soon.
Spades has a little drop of his own coming, but this is going to get just instantly shut down.
Look at that nice Hellion micro, splitting them up so they don't take splash damage.
Yeah, and I gotta feel for Spades, man. He knows this game's over. He's just doing, you know, whatever he can. Like in TVT, there's always that positional thing that comes into it. If you can stay alive, and if you can get enough tanks out, there's always that small chance, but it's not going to matter. Big group of blue flame Hellions going to run into the natural. Oh, actually, they're going to get smashed by this bunker.
Yeah. You know, he just took a lot of damage from that bunker. He actually just kind of suicided like 7 or 8 Hellions. And that's actually... I mean, granted, he's still way ahead. It's 73 of food to 37, but that's actually exactly what you need. Exactly what Spades needs is in this situation to be able to come back.
I mean, we can talk about it all we want. Here finally come a couple siege tanks out from Hack, which is what he should have done 5 minutes ago. And when these siege up, I think Spades is going to tap out.
I definitely agree there. You can just siege them up below that natural. What is Spades going to do? All he has is Hellions and 4 Marines. That's literally all he has. Now the Hellions are trying to move out, but they're going to be forced back by these siege tanks. I know he's just going to let them die, and there's the GG. He sees, wait a minute, my opponent has tanks. There's nothing I can do. GL in finals. Nice manner from Spades.
Such a manner bear, that Spades guy. So, man, I gotta say, I'm a little bit bummed out. That was absolutely 100% a major build order advantage in favor of Hack. Spades perhaps blundering a bit with that Reaper, but just a better build there from Hack. So our two foreigners are out of the tournament. TT1 and Spades both getting knocked off by their Korean counterparts. But we are going to see an epic TVZ final with Hack and that other guy whose name is evading me.
It was
wow, Zephyr Prime.
We're so bad at this.
Formerly
Tyrius,
known as Tyrius. So it should be an amazing final. Any predictions, or before we take this thing to commercial?
I haven't watched as many games from Zephyr. I've watched a lot of games from Hack, so I do kind of have to give the advantage to Hack since he's such a solid player. But I just want to say that, with the whole build order situation, Hack's build there is pretty much his standard build that he does, and a lot of Korean Terrans have been doing in kind of like 90% of their TVTs, it seems. So granted, this isn't the type of tournament where you get to prepare against each player you're playing against, so it's not like, it's not like his opponent could have been like, well, Spades could have been like, well, I'm just going to go practice against this style that Hack does. But that being said, he should be familiar with the style, and that's just kind of something that you got to be prepared for when you know you're going to be playing against a Korean. Yeah.
I think I'm really glad that you mentioned the Korean style, quote unquote, because it's different from the North American style or the European style. There are absolutely stylistic differences on each server, and I'm glad that we got to see some Korean style TVT, but I'm really excited to see some Korean style TVZ as we've been seeing Terrans do quite well in Korean recently, using a lot, maybe it was MMA inspired, but a lot of multi-prong drop and just some really solid macro behind it. So I can't wait to see this final. Of course I'll be pulling for the Zerg player, but I'm super excited to see Hack's TVZ because it's something awesome.
Heck yeah, man. Now, we'll be back with those finals after a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back with some awesome StarCraft 2 in just a moment.